I have a question for the representative. Do you think the National Democratic Party represents your values?
Pardon me?
Do you think the National Democratic Party represents your values?
No. Does that answer your question?
That's good enough.
Do you want to change your affiliation?
There's voter registration form in front of there.
They wasn't going to do that. Let me do it to you. Ambush me. I'll tell you what, I probably voted as much Republican. I voted for way more Republican bills than I have Democrat. Of course, there's way more Republican bills out there.
A couple weeks ago, Mary Fallin signed us up as the first state for drone testing programs. So they're going to be flying unmanned drones out of Lawton, Oklahoma, and then she wants to include it where it'll be up to 9 sites, and I think the closest one to us will be Camp Gruber. Like I said, that just happened 2 weeks ago. It'll be private companies, mostly military contractors, and while they said it'll be mainly for EMS and fire and stuff, the private contractors have said that they will be using it to track civilians on the streets, in the cars, as part of their training to develop software, to develop the drones, to develop everything that goes along with that. It's a gross violation of our 4th and 5th Amendment. Not even the Patriot Act or the NDAA allowed such spying on civilian activity without either, it used to be without a warrant from a judge. Anymore they can just say you're suspected of terrorist activity, but Fallin has superseded all of that. So 4th and 5th Amendment out the window now. She's currently in the UK trying to sell Oklahoma as a aviation friendly state, and it's all to military type contractors. So my question for both you guys is, do you agree with what Mary Fallin's done? And if you disagree, would you support a motion from the House to the Senate to impeach Mary Fallin?
I don't know that I would vote to send a petition over, I guess, to impeach Mary Fallin until I knew a little bit more about it. This is the first I've heard about the drones. And I do know that she is an aerospace person. She really likes aerospace. And we got the new company moving into Stillwater. That's starting to hire. They're going to hire 500 people in September, if I understood it correctly. And I just heard it on the news. And then we also...
I think that's a Belgian company too.
I don't know. Like I say, I just heard it on the news, I think yesterday. And they're taking over the old cruiser for the place. They've lost all those employees out of it. And there's something moving into Tulsa in the aerospace industry and maybe this is...
Yes, that's at OSU Tech. They're going to be, that'll be eventually one of the sites for the drone aircraft there.
So that's about all I know, but I'd hate to jump out and say I was ready to impeach Mary Fallin over one issue, making sure that I need to know a little bit more about it before I make it. I'd use a little common sense about it.
But do you think it's okay for defense contractors to track our movements in our cars on the streets as part of a training exercise? They're not even law enforcement.
Do you have a cell phone? You carry it with you?
Yeah.
They know where you're at right now.
Yeah. Do you think it's right?
You can leave your cell phone at home.
Yeah.
That's if we want all this technology, we're going to have to live with a bunch of things we really don't like.
So without a warrant from a judge, which is what the 4th Amendment of the Constitution says, anytime that you're going to be searched, which is what they're doing when they're tracking your phone, when they're tracking your everywhere you go, the 4th Amendment says you have to have a warrant signed off by a judge that states what they're searching for, where they're going to search, and it has to be done by an officer of the law. These are private contractors watching your every move. Do you not see a violation of the 4th Amendment? Okay.
But I understand that we're using our cell phones and all that all the time anyway. So and they don't, I don't guess they've got a search and seizure order on cell phones.
I've gone on Google Earth and you can kind of track people that way, so I'm not sure about how that's going to go, because I know you can do that on watching our every movement, so you know, they haven't hurt me yet, the satellites over my head, as far as, I mean.
Have you heard about another?
I don't care where people know where I go, because I'm not gonna commit any illegal acts to begin with, like hell.
Have you heard about in other states where the EPA is using them to monitor the cattle farmers?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Have you heard about in other states where the EPA is flying the drones to monitor the cattle farmers?
And they're doing that, why?
Because if the cow defecates in the river, they can fine them for polluting the river.
No. Heard that one. Where, man, that's weird.
If this is a concern of the state legislature, which it can vary, I mean, if it's in beneficial hands, then no harm. But if it's not in, you know, hands that are friendly hands, then it can be very serious danger. I mean, they can target Christians, they can target cattlemen, they could target anybody that they wanted to, you know, say that they were a terrorist and go after them. And, you know, with the fire capability that they're developing on these for use in the military, for strikes, you know, especially in cities, for targeted strikes on terrorists, then, you know, we could be in serious trouble here. But if that, you know, is a concern of the legislature, what could be done at the state level to somewhat protect our privacy and our amendment rights?
I would think
I
that
don't know if we can do anything at the state level. I'm not understanding this, I don't think exactly right. You're asking what would be done at the state level?
Yeah, is there anything that the state legislature can do to help protect some of our rights here in Oklahoma in regard to our privacy?
I don't see how. I don't think y'all can. I don't think that's in your court really hard.
What you have to do, what I have to do is go to the Attorney General and find out what legislation could be introduced. I don't know of anything that would change if our congressmen and senators is not upholding the Constitution. That'd be the ones you have to go after. I think.
Just the last day or two, we heard a little more on this horse slaughter thing, Jerry. You and James might want to talk about it a little bit